Hey guys, I just came back from watching Keeper. I drove in the car on my way over here, and I took some time to marinate on what I just saw. It came out this past week or so, but I didn't get a chance to see it until now. And um, if I have to tell you honestly, as we are nearing 2025, its end, I can tell you without, and this is just my opinion, this movie was, in one word, stupid. Yeah, stupid. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. What's it about? Okay, so it's about a couple, a man and a woman, that go to a cabin in the woods. It's owned by the man, and he wanted to spend a nice weekend with her and everything. His cousin lives next door in another cabin apparently, and he's annoying. And he shows up. He invites himself in for a little bit with his girl or whatnot, and she's kind of weird. The main girl, the protagonist of the film, and then as she's there, especially after her boyfriend has to leave for a few hours to tend to something at work, she starts experiencing supernatural phenomena, right? And is it a supernatural film? Yeah, yeah, it is. But it's a little bit more than that. It's tied in, without giving too much away for those of you who want to see it, tied into like a couple hundred years back regarding a witch. At least that's what it came across to me as. Um, and these two boys that shot the witch, which was pregnant, by the way. And that whole thing about being in back in the time of the Salem witch trials, that they were afraid that they were running around in the woods naked and having sex with the devil and all that kind of stuff. Like that it kind of like teases that concept in this film, but bringing it back to the modern time, this girl is starting to really see that there's something strange going on. And she confronts eventually her boyfriend about it, this guy who was kind of weird from the beginning anyway. Actually, you know what? Shut up, Ralph. They were both weird. They were both weird. The way this movie ended up coming out, I got the point. It had to do with some kind of generational thing, and it had to do with some kind of intention to kind of like continue to feed something. You see at the very beginning of the movie these different women from different time periods, and you don't know what's really going on yet. It doesn't compute yet until it finally does. And when it does, you kind of just want to be like, what the hell is this? And and what bothers me a lot too, that the fact that this woman, Liz, her name is Liz. Liz seems to be kind of tolerating what's happening a little bit more than she should be. Like the average person would have already like left, would have gotten out of there real quick. Okay, so then because things were just getting weird. Now, did it have its scares? Yes, but that's not why it's stupid. The scares they're creepy. It's creepy. It has creepy. It has that Oswald Perkins style. Oswald Perkins directed this. He did The Monkey last year. He did Longlegs the year before. He's really starting to come on his own. Oswald Perkins is the son of the late great Anthony Perkins, who played Norman Bates in Psycho. And I wish him well, but I really feel like this one just didn't sit well with me. I was literally in the theater dying for it to finish already so I can get the hell out of there. I really did. It was just so dumb. It was weird, and the cinematography was good, but it was very abstract at the same time. There was just these weird shots, a lot of emphasis on the little river that was right next to the cabin. Always looking at the water, always looking at the little babbling river going through the rocks and everything. They just kept on going back to them. Like, I don't want to see why am I keep on looking at the water? Why am I looking at the water? I mean, she eventually confronts the guy. What's the secret you're hiding from me? And she thinks it's him cheating on her and whatnot. But what's weird is that he finally reveals it, but then he starts talking in a different kind of tone. And then that starts to scare her, obviously. His cousin, who lives next door, is also another weird one. He's basically a douche. He's a jerk. He kind of invites himself in, whatever the hell, and he puts down the other guy and everything on a regular basis. But then he kind of like drops out of the whole thing. You don't see him again. It's like an open, like, what happened to that guy? What happened to him? He left town? What happened? Again, this movie just didn't sit well with me. I understood the point it was trying to make, but it was trying to use, Oswald, I think, was trying to use abstract shots and visualizations a little bit overkill to kind of get the point across. Okay? I think that should have went back a little bit. Otherwise, I would have probably liked this movie more. Not to mention the way the exchange between the characters was executed. I don't think the acting was bad, but I do think that the execution of what was written for the actors to act this out was bad. It was, like I said before, stupid. So I'm gonna give Keeper only one coffee cup, man. Only one. One lousy, sad coffee cup. I can't with this. It just didn't work for me. I'm never gonna see this movie again. I could care less. I got up, and when I was walking out, I was saying to myself, a couple of hours, less than 2 hours, a little under 2 hours, that I'm never gonna get back. Could have been watching something else here at home on this TV. But you know what? Forget about my rant about this. What are your thoughts? Talk to me. Go see. I wouldn't tell you not to go see it. Go see it. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll like it. That's it vibes off of different people in different ways. If you like it, or if you don't like it, if you think it's stupid, like I thought it was stupid, come back and come here and comment below. Talk to me and let me know what you think of Keeper, one of the last horror films to come out in 2025. More to come. Year's not over yet. So hopefully we'll see some better stuff in what I would consider to be better stuff personally. It's a free country, right? At least so far. This is Ralph Perez from Horror and Coffee. Until next time, take care.